Today's news. Today's news.
7 o'clock. Cocaine at the White House. The item was sent for further evaluation. Federal social media restrictions. It's a difficult line. A boot camp for boot camp.
We're meeting them halfway to give them the opportunity to serve.
Good morning. I'm Deborah Rodriguez with the CBS World News Roundup. We begin at the White House, where a bag of suspicious powder, believed to be cocaine, was found while President Biden and his family were out of town at Camp David for the holiday. Correspondent Stephen Portnoy has our top story.
The powdered substance was discovered late Sunday in the West Wing, in an area, sources say, that isn't a personal office, but rather a common space frequented by White House staffers and sometimes guests. A law enforcement source tells CBS News the powder was found in a storage cubby regularly used to hold cell phones. The discovery led to an evacuation for a time before the preliminary positive test for cocaine. Sources say the Secret Service will lead a full review of the matter.
A federal judge has issued a preliminary injunction limiting contact between federal agencies and social media sites. Tech contributor Ian Scher.
The judge who wrote it was very critical of the government and its employees and said that the social media companies are not just merely moderating their platforms, but are participating in something called viewpoint discrimination, a widely debated idea that argues social media companies moderate their platforms in ways meant to influence political debates.
Republican attorneys general in Louisiana and Missouri claimed the government went too far trying to convince sites to address posts about vaccine hesitancy during the pandemic. Ukraine's president has issued an urgent warning about a massive nuclear facility in a Russian-occupied territory. Correspondent Charlie D'Agata reports from Zaporizhia.
It has been a nerve-wracking night for all of Ukraine, but especially here in the vicinity of that nuclear power plant. That's after Russia and Ukraine accuse one another of plotting an attack in the complex over the next couple of days. Overnight, President Zelensky outlining his claims that Russian troops have placed objects resembling explosives on the roof of several power units at the complex. That's after Russia accused Ukraine of planning to strike the plant with missiles or drones packed with radioactive waste from other nuclear facilities.
There are new signs from Moscow. It's open to a prisoner exchange involving a Wall Street Journal reporter who was detained in March and charged with espionage. CBS's Ramy Inocencio is at the foreign desk.
This possibility came up after 31-year-old Evan Gershkovich was visited by U.S. Ambassador to Russia, Lynn Tracy, on Monday. Now, that same day, Russian citizen Vladimir Dunayev received a visit from Russian consular services in the state of Ohio. And the timing made Russia watchers think that potentially a swap could be in the works. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov also on Monday did admit there have been certain contacts on the subject, but added we don't want them to be discussed in public.
Here in the U.S., the Great Return is underway. All of those people who headed out for 4th of July celebrations are on their way home, but many have been held up by bad weather. Correspondent Chris Van Cleve is at the airport in Phoenix.
It was not barbecue weather for many this 4th of July. It wasn't just the weather literally raining on our parade, it's the heat and humidity, too. Californians Tommy and Gloria Koppel are visiting Washington, D.C.
It gets hot back there, but we don't have the humidity like this.
And the nasty weather keeps disrupting travel.
It was delayed today.
In Denver and New York, storms brought flights to a halt.
This is chaotic. This is not my type of party.
More disruptions are possible today.
Violence rocked Independence Day celebrations in Washington, D.C. and Shreveport, Louisiana. Police in the nation's capital say 9 people were wounded, including a 9- and 7-year-old, when someone fired out of an SUV early this morning. Police in Shreveport say 3 people died, 6 were injured in a shooting at a 4th of July block party. No word of arrests in either incident. It's 4 minutes after the hour.
Well, that's today's news. Today's news. I didn't hear any good news, did you? I didn't think so. I guess it's all about perspective. The glass is half full. Well, as always, I want to thank you again for coming along with me on these Dash Cam News adventures. You know the drill. Peace, love, and all that hippie jazz. Bye-bye, everybody.